From the High Definition Educational Broadcast Center at Bergen Community College's main campus in Paramus, this is Studio Bergen. Hi everyone, I'm Larry Levanka and welcome to Studio Bergen, your connection to the state's #1 college for associate degree graduates 2 years in a row. In our top story this month, with approval December 1st, the Board of Trustees has affirmed the work of nearly 24 faculty and staff who spent the fall semester remaking and refocusing the institution's mission, vision, and value statements. Observers will recognize few similarities between the current and former statements. The most obvious change is the length. The mission statement evolved from a 71-word paragraph to a 9-word statement. The vision statement went from 94 words to 19. Of course, we can't measure impact by word count alone, so to help us understand the mechanics behind the working group and the motivation for the new statements, one of the group members, Professor Gail Fernandez, is here. Gail, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you for inviting me.
No problem. So Gail, why did the institution want to change its mission, vision, and value statements? Were they not working?
You know, when we were doing the self-study process, Working Group 1, which was assigned Standard 1 Mission Goals and Integrity, reviewed the old mission, vision, and value statements. And they found that it wasn't actually created with a lot of community input. In addition, as you just noted, it was very, very long and nobody could remember it. And last, it didn't really reflect this administration's current focus on student learning and student success. So it was felt that it would be better to revise them.
So it really rose out of middle states, huh?
Yes, it did.
Interesting. Tell me about, you wanted to make it a more inclusive statement or a group of statements, as it were. What was the group like? What was the group dynamic like to try and make it more inclusive?
Well, Dr. Kim invited all the college community in early June. She sent out an announcement inviting anyone to participate. About 20 people responded. Ultimately, there were about 19 of us who worked together. It included faculty, staff, administrators, Faculty Senate Executive Committee. Everyone came and worked together. In addition, we also had town hall meetings. And the public was invited to hear the drafts. We took the input that they said and we incorporated it into the statements. How important is that, you know, to get not only different points of view, but different, I'll say, communities, if you will, bringing all those voices together? Oh, it's very important because there's different perspectives and we need to come together to formulate our true mission, what we all want together as a group. So it's very important. Did the group do any research on other colleges or other statements that seem to work well? Yes, it's funny you asked that because before we even met, Dr. Kim gave us our homework assignment. She always does that, by the way. Yes, I know she does. I know she does. So we researched different colleges. We looked at a lot of premier community colleges to see what they wrote. We looked at the length. We looked at the language. We looked at the purpose. And we gathered together and talked about them, talked about what we liked, what we didn't like about them. And we decided at that point that it should be a shorter statement, something that we could all remember, something that was a little more punchy, something that really represented what we do. So how did you start to come up with different words or phrases or ideas? Was there a process that went on for that? Did you vote? Or No. If you've ever worked with Dr. Kim, you know that everything is participatory. We have the sheets of paper that we hang up, we work in groups, we go back and forth, starting with just ideas. Write down what you think might be representative of a mission statement of the college. Write down phrases, words, sentences, whatever. And then you start to talk to the other, say, no, I don't really think so. We argue a little bit. What do you really mean? What do I really mean? And then we work together and we shorten it and we keep coming together till we finally sort of revise and think, what do we really mean? What is our intent? And to reach a consensus, and that's what you did, right? Yes. Good. It goes back and forth. It's focused, it's friendly, but we have our differences till we get together. Talk about the fact that
there's three different statements in play here. It's not just a mission statement, there's also the value statement, there's also the vision statement, and these are supposed to work together.
Yes.
They're supposed to present a picture of the institution's goals. Talk about how these three different statements really work together.
Well, the mission is what we do. Mm-hmm. That is what this is all about what the public sees. This is for the public. It's not for internal. It's much more our public statement of our goals, our mission. So it's what we do in the mission. The vision relates to where we want to be. Mm-hmm. And the values represent what we do, what we believe is important to get there. Mm. So they all work together.
How hard is it, though? I mean, to try and come up with statements that somebody won't say, well, wait a minute, it doesn't say anything about me in there, or it doesn't say anything about my department in there, or it doesn't say anything about this. How difficult is it to come up with statements that try and capture everything that the college does, which is really significant?
It is. I agree with you. You have a good group of people working together. Egos are left aside. Right. So it's not about the department. It's about the college. And people just start to say, really, what do we do? How do we help our students? How do we participate in the community? Right. So it's really asking these questions and really going back and forth and having conversation so that everybody feels that they're heard. It's a lot of dialogue.
And that's the benefit of having an inclusive group where everybody works together to reach a consensus. Are you personally happy with the way things turned out?
Yeah, I do like this statement. I think I can remember this one.
Well, we know you worked hard on it, obviously.
And it's broad, and I think it really is new. It's much more futuristic. It's not the same old, same old. This is really a shorter to inspire our community to realize a better future. That is ultimately what we do. That's right, that's right.
So do you think it will do that? Do you think it will impact the college positively?
I do. I mean, you and I are taking a class together. We know that the mission is the guiding force. I hate to use that word today.
Star Wars, obviously, is the topic on everybody's mind.
Our strategic plan links to our mission. Our student success initiatives link to our mission. The work we do on a daily basis, your work, my work, is all about serving our students and the community. So I really do think it will have an impact. Not that people are going to go around saying it all the time, but it is what the starting point is for us.
Well, Gail, thank you for not only coming on the show, but your work. This was, a very important process for the college, and you and our colleagues obviously did a great job to come up with statements that crystallize exactly what the college is all about.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me, and I look forward to seeing you soon.
Thank you, Gail. Also last month, elected officials from some of North Jersey's largest suburbs and cities, including keynote speakers Bergen County Executive Jim Tedesco and Jersey City Mayor Stephen Fulop, headlined a discussion on how communities can enhance collaboration with the Uniting New Jersey Cities and Suburbs Working Together Conference. In addition to the keynote speakers, Bergen professor Dr. Phil Dolce led a panel discussion on strategies for bridging the divide between suburbs and cities. He said this work remains important for the state's long-term prosperity.
In this day and age, cooperation is really important in virtually every area of life. Suburbs, cities, suburbs and suburbs, cities and cities, suburbs and cities. Everybody understands that with shrinking revenue, changing populations, cooperation is essential.
On the topic of economic growth, the college's latest project to support the county's #1 employment sector, healthcare, is nearing completion. And we had the unique opportunity to get an inside look at the progress. If it looks dramatic, it is. This is the first building to rise at Bergen's main campus since West Hall in 2006. This is the $26 million Health Professions Integrated Teaching Center. For the last 2.5 years, this building has been rising, and next spring, it'll open. So today, let's go on a tour as we look at the newest building at the state's #1 college for associate degree graduates. Once finished, the 3-story, 65,000 square foot facility will house most of the college's region-leading health professions programs, such as nursing and dental hygiene. Just like a nursery at a hospital, large window glass panes will be featured here. In the background, there will be mannequins. Students will have the opportunity to hone their skills in this simulation lab. More than 24 classrooms and laboratories support the programs. One of the things that makes this building so unique is the fact that you have combination classroom laboratories. Where I'm standing right now would be the classroom. Just over there is a laboratory, providing the type of simulation experience that students can only get at a high-tech facility like this one. New Jersey voters approved funding for the building and others at colleges in the state as part of a 2012 referendum. Right now it's a construction site, but soon enough this will be the dental hygiene clinic. Patients from the community will give Bergen students the opportunity to work in a real-world environment. Right now, the dental hygiene clinic at main campus is on the 3rd floor of the Pitkin Education Center. This is on the 1st floor, providing a much more accessible experience. The modern, state-of-the-art learning environment will provide new opportunities and perspectives. How about this for a new view? Someday, school officials say, this might be Bergen's Quad. In just a few short months, a ribbon-cutting ceremony will open the doors to the facility, which now stands as a signature element of the main campus. In other news, for the 7th time in 4 years, a Bergen student is a Gilman Scholar. Ellie Tanous received a U.S. Department of State Benjamin A. Gilman International Scholarship to study abroad in China during the spring 2016 academic term. He is one of approximately 800 undergraduate students from 355 colleges and universities across the U.S. selected to receive the award. Gilman Scholars received up to $5,000 to apply toward their study abroad or internship program costs. We were lucky enough to get some time with Ellie before he heads overseas in this month's Student Success Spotlight. We have the opportunity today to speak with Ellie Tanous, who is a Gilman Scholar. Ellie, thanks for coming with us today.
Absolutely, no problem.
All right, so tell us a little bit about why you decided to apply for this program.
You know what, to get a different aspect of business, to get different views, to learn more in-depth diversity of business, not just what we learn over here in the U.S., more what they learn in China, what they learn in other parts of the world. And I plan on continuing to work in a trading company after I graduate. And it would just be good to engage in all parts of the world when it comes to that aspect.
You kind of have a global inspiration as it is right now.
Yeah.
Talk about your family and their business.
Right, of course. So growing up, my dad used to own a wholesale company, and I was pretty much helping out when I was younger. I started that when I was about 12 years old, just dabbling a little bit. And I grew a liking to it. So I want to continue that throughout my career for the most part, yeah.
So at what point, obviously as a child, you may have seen this, you saw the family business.
Right.
At what point did you say, well, I want to go globally. I want to try and understand business from a perspective that's not just here at home,
Sure.
but abroad?
All right, so growing up, I never really liked, I guess you can say, the sales aspect of business. I more liked the management, the sourcing, dealing with the factories directly. So that's really what inspired me to deal with the source,
Okay.
instead of actually dealing with just the outside and just directly wholesale, which is what I'm actually used to. And that's why this opportunity I think would be really good for me.
How did you find out about the Gilman Scholarship opportunity?
So actually I found out about the study abroad program here at Bergen, and I came and spoke to Amparo, who's the advisor in the international department. And then later on, she actually told me, apply for the Gilman Scholarship and see what happens. And I found out about it probably less than a month before the deadline of the essay that was due. And first thought came to my head that it's impossible. I mean, they're looking for these amazing essays. How am I possibly going to do it? I have like 2 weeks to do this. With her help, we did it. It was a really good essay, and I knew I was going to get something. I didn't expect the 5,000, which was, amazing. It was a shock to me. Mm-hmm. So that was really nice.
Did your family encourage you? Did they want to see you do this?
I actually didn't tell anybody about it in advance, about the Gilman Scholarship, that I was applying for it. after I applied for it, I told them, I applied for the scholarship. Let's see what happens.
So you weren't really sure if you were even going to get it. I mean, did it come as a shock?
I expected something. I expected 500. 5,000, no, I didn't expect. So that was a shock.
So of course you did get the 5,000,
Yeah.
and now you're on your way to, well, here it is, Shanghai,
Yeah.
right? What was your reaction when you found out that you had won this thing?
Excited, in shock. Not really nervous because I've been to China before, but more anxious. I can't wait just to go see more of like the thorough education aspect as opposed to like going to work.
So when do you leave? What's the process from here?
Early March, I'll be going to Shanghai, and from there we'll see what happens.
And you just told me that it's actually the furthest point from New York, so you
Yeah,
got a
it
long
is.
flight
Yeah,
ahead
it
of
is.
you, but you got some time to think it over, I guess, while you're over there.
Absolutely.
So I guess if there's one final thing that we could talk about, are there any words of encouragement that you could offer for other students? That here's a student, you're a successful student,
Thank
you had an opportunity, you seized it, even though you didn't think you were going to get it, you still took that opportunity.
Absolutely.
So what's the advice to other students who might be in the same position that you are?
Right. Stick to one word: charisma. Okay. Be confident in yourself. I went back to school at a later age. I'm 26 today. I work 2 full-time jobs. I go to school full-time, and I still have a social life. So don't ever think that you can't do anything in life with anything, not just a scholarship or studying abroad. Anything. When you put your mind to something, you'll achieve it. There's no doubt about it. But you have to believe in yourself. Charisma, charisma, charisma.
Coming up after a short break, we'll take a look at some other news from Bergen. We'll be right back.
This is the story of a boy who is very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. It made him feel uncomfortable. One day, he found out he had something called autism. His family got him help, and slowly, he learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
All right, I know this isn't any fun to talk about, but we should. Okay, so who's gonna do what?
I'll pack the dead batteries.
Great.
I'll only put what I don't need into a duffel bag.
Perfect. That's totally unhelpful.
No problem.
Meanwhile, I will try to comfort everyone by speaking in a calm voice.
And I'll try to get the generator going without any gas.
Oh, let's not forget the cell phones, which probably won't work.
Right.
And who is going to handle supplies?
I can forget to do a list for us.
Thanks, pal.
Well, I think we couldn't be any less prepared. I'm proud of you guys.
Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Visit ready.gov/kids for tips and information.
Wake the sun, tell him that I've begun to dream of things to come, and tell the trees not to look for me. I'm going to find some peace of mind. Wake the sun, wake the sun, wake the sun, wake the sun.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Morning, Gary. We are GetSchooled.com. You want a college education, don't you? Gary, financial aid forms. Biology homework, G. What? Picking a college, man. You and us go together like tacos and Tuesday. And I love tacos.
Welcome back to Studio Bergen. I'm Larry Levanka. Men's soccer forward Malik Stewart has notched national recognition to go along with the rest of the awards in his growing trophy case. Stewart, who appeared in the Student Success Spotlight last month, has earned second-team All-America honors. Previously, he became the Region 19 Player of the Year, the first in Bergen history, and a first-team All-Region player. His 24 goals led the Bulldogs to a Region 19 championship, also the first in team history, and a spot in the national tournament. Meanwhile, more than 125 students received recognition for their hard work at the annual Mid-Year Scholarship Awards ceremony sponsored by the Bergen Community College Foundation. At the event, which took place at Bergen Community College at the Meadowlands, donors handed out almost $170,000 in scholarships to high-achieving students. Winners included 15 students who placed in the 2015 Securing Our Future essay contest. Now let's check in with Achieving the Dream Director, Jamie Griffin, on the college's progress in this ATD update.
So since the day of professional development, we've been very busy. We had a lot of data, and so we've been analyzing the data for about the past month and a half. And we've used groups of faculty, staff, and students to work together to identify big picture topic areas that we will be using for our implementation plan, and more to come about that next semester. We've also been doing an inventory of all of our student success initiatives on campus. That is something that ATD recommends and our coaches are going to expect for their visit in January. So we have a lot of initiatives, so they're going to be letting us know what we're going to be doing with those. And then they will be here at the end of January. They will be meeting with all of our groups, our core communication team and data teams, as well as there will be open campus forums for them to speak with anybody on campus that wants to come and talk to them. And in the meantime, if you have any questions at all, please email us at atd@bergen.edu.
Taking a look at this month's campus calendar, the first in the new B2B at BCC Free Business Seminar Series will take place Thursday, January 14th at 7:15 a.m. in the Moses Family Meeting and Training Center at the main campus. On Monday, January 18th, the college will close in observance of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day. And then on Tuesday, January 19th, the college will reopen for the start of the spring semester. For more information on registering, visit my.bergen.edu. As world leaders convened in France for the United Nations COP21, the annual session of the Conference of the Parties Climate Change Convention, an art exhibition on the topic opened at Bergen. Tipping Points, Artists Address the Climate Crises, features the work of 10 artists from the U.S. and Australia in Gallery Bergen. Mediums in the exhibition include photography, video, sculpture, and drawing. For more information, visit bergen.edu/gallery. From one important issue to another, Bergen students had the opportunity to listen to the story of a survivor of the Holocaust last month. Hannah Wexler, a survivor of the Auschwitz concentration camp, painted an understandably grim picture of her time there as a young girl as she educated the assembled students on the atrocities of war. In this month's Faculty Focus, we spoke with Professor Iris Bucchino, who heads the college's Success 101 program for the students first entering Bergen.
We also encourage them by praising for their effort. Okay, so, and not necessarily, it's, not necessarily, the outcome, but it's what you're putting into it, and it's your journey and how you are accomplishing these goals, the process.
Success 101 serves as a foundational program for students.
Students who come to Bergen Community College and are placed in developmental education courses are students who schools claim are not college ready. And those students, for most of our students who test in there, developmental education is their second most important nurturing environment next to the home. And for some of our developmental students, it's the first nurturing environment in their lives. So they need a little extra push, little confidence. They need instructors that understand who they are and where they're going. And I feel that I can play a role in developing students into college-ready students, and not only for academics, but also for professional.
Developing that foundation, including writing, remains critical.
Writing is an essential component to student success and professional success. And I tell my students that all the time. We have this dialogue, this conversation about how important it is, because you're perceived by your ability to communicate. But that's only one component. The writing is one component. There's the reading and the analytical and critical thinking skills that go along with that. And then there's the speaking. And then there's communicating your ideas in a way that's coherent and unified, and where and when to use those supporting details in writing for academics, and how you say it. And I know Mark Twain said the difference between the right word and the almost right word is like the difference between lightning and the lightning bug, and that is so true.
According to Bacchino, Success 101 works because of the faculty who teach it.
It works because we have wonderful teachers. They go through training. We talk about pedagogy. We research first-year experiences. We know a lot about the community college students. We teach to a diverse audience. We use active strategies. We work on time management skills. We work on who they are, college culture, what you need for academic success, what you need for life skills. We work on reading strategies and note-taking strategies, and we do personal wellness and diversity, and we really cover a lot in the course. Personal finance, because we know that a lot of our students struggle every day with money, and how to get to school, how to pay for their classes, and so we try to help them with that and create budgets and that financial literacy component.
The results have been overwhelmingly positive.
The data revealed that it did have a positive impact on student success in their other courses and in retention. Now, however, we're looking at data in a different way. We have about 1,000 surveys that we distributed to our students, and we have 90% of the students show that the course has been helpful in some way or another, and we want to know specific courses that our success course has helped them with. They loved the course. They have wonderful instructors, and they feel supported and free to take risks, and they're now able to take on the challenges that academics brings.
In the end, Professor Bacchino enjoys what she does, and it shows.
I like taking chances in my class. I love that dialogue and that conversation that I have with my students. I love that openness. I love just keeping up with what our students are thinking about all the time. When it comes to the students, I think that I can inspire them. I think that I can lead. I think that we can all be innovative. I think we're all teachers, we're all learners, and I feel that my students will grow professionally and academically from my classes.
And finally, as we tie a bow on the first episode of 2016, we leave you with the spirit of the season as President B.K. Walter sponsored a holiday breakfast for faculty and staff in mid-December. The President celebrated the accomplishments of the fall at the well-attended event. That's all the time we have for this month. For Bergen Community College, I'm Larry Levanka. Happy New Year. Thanks, and take care.